everybody. We are going to begin building our first HTML coded website. Now before we can do that though, we do need to have an area to save all of our stuff. That's pretty darn important to have all of your web pages stuff in one spot. That includes all photos, videos, fonts, any of that stuff. We're going to have it all in one spot. So if you're doing this from home because you're not at school, I recommend saving this just to your desktop. But if you're at school, then we need to be saving into your H drive. So for those of us that are at home like me, I'm just going to do the little right click action, and I'm going to make a new folder. Now our website theme this year is under the sea, so I'm just going to go ahead and name this Trident Undersea Resort, since that's what the class voted on this year. If this is somebody watching this in years to come, then just name this whatever we decided on for class. So there's my little folder. Again, everything we do for this website has to be in here, and that'll be really important later on. So let's get in the habit now. So now that we have this new folder here, I'm going to go inside of it, and I'm going to make myself another folder. And this folder is going to be called Photos. So inside my resort folder, I have Photos. And you can leave that open because we'll be accessing that periodically throughout all these lessons. Now the next thing we need to do is find the Notepad program if you're on a Windows-based computer, or TextEdit if you're on a Mac. So I'm on a Windows computer, so I'm going to come down here to the Start menu, and I'm going to come to All Programs. I'm going to find this Accessories folder. And inside Accessories, working my way down here because it's alphabetical order, there is Notepad. Now if you're on a Mac and you're using TextEdit, you are going to have to set TextEdit up so it doesn't have the rulers and the fonts and sizes and all that stuff like a normal word processor would. But Notepad, it is already blank and ready to go for us to code in. So again, if you're using TextEdit, you might Google how to do that, since I'm not on a Mac computer. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a little file and save. And we're going to save our first web page into this folder. So I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to find my Trident Under the Sea Resort folder. Excuse me. So in here, before we save anything, see how it's wanting to save as a .txt, which is a text document? That's not what we want to save as. You'll see we don't have very many options. We're going to type in our own. So this first file, let's call it home. My computer will wake up here. Wake up, computer. Home.html. This, folks, is key for making our websites work. If we don't type .html, it is going to think it's just a text document, and it's not going to let our code do its job to build our website. And then when we try to open it, it's just going to be a bunch of numbers and letters and symbols. So that's not what we want. So anything we make in class, whether it's this very first web page we're going to build together today, or if it's later on next semester, you have to have this .html on everything we do. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Minimize that guy. And I'm just going to check to make sure it's saved inside my resort folder on my desktop. So there's my Photos folder, and there is my home.html. You'll notice that that .html is not appearing on my name anymore, but if I look at my little icon right here, it has that internet symbol on it, so I know that it thinks that it is an HTML document. It thinks that it is in the internet, and when I hover over it, it'll pop back up here. There we go. It says HTML document, so now I'm good to go. So we're going to cheat, and we're going to copy this file, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste it, and then I'm going to rename it activities.html. Now when we're on the Macs, it wants us to do that, but I guess we don't have to. Boom. So we have activities. Let's copy it again. We're going to call this one reservations. And our last one is going to be contacts. So what we've done here by copying and pasting our home page, we made our 3 other pages for our website: home, activities, reservations, and contacts. And it put that E for Internet Explorer on all of them, so I know I'm good to go. Now I tried to add the .html to it, but it told me I didn't need to because it went ahead and threw it on there for us. So if you're on a Mac, we would have needed to type that. So we're going to use those 4 files to build our very first code today. So I'm going to leave this open again because I'm always going to be using it. I'm going to come back here to our home notepad. So guys, when we code together, I try to make it as simple as possible. When we code, it's like learning an entirely different language, whether it be Spanish, French, German. It's something that's very new and foreign to you guys. So I try to relate it to real world things. So here in a little bit, when we get started coding, you're going to get a little introduction to my funny analogies. So hopefully these help you learn HTML code in a more natural way. Now, one thing I always like to do is, this is very small, I would like to make it a little bigger. So if you come here to this format menu under your notepad, you go to fonts. It's kind of slow on my computer. You can adjust the size. Now I already changed mine to 18, yours is probably like 10 or 12. I like to make my font nice and big for you guys so you can kind of see where I'm at. So feel free to adjust that as we're working to make it easier for you to see. You don't want teeny tiny text because it's just kind of hard to see what's going on. Another thing, if you are on a Windows computer, is make sure word wrap is turned off. When it's turned on, it's going to have this little check mark here. Leave it off. We might turn it on later, but for now, leave it off. Alright guys, let's start coding. So if you look at your keyboard, I want you to find 3 keys that we're going to use constantly while we're coding. So find your M key, and then look to the right of your M key. You're going to see these 2 brackets and this /. We're going to use all of these for every code we do, for every tag that we do. They're called tags. Please don't confuse this / with the / that's above your enter key. It's actually not even letting me type it, so that's great. So let's get started. So our first tag that we always have to type is a little bracket, and I call these alligator mouths. If you remember them in math, they always eat the bigger one. So alligator mouth, HTML, alligator mouth. So this is our very, very first tag that we have to have when we make our websites. This tag says build an HTML site. It means, hey, we're going to code in HTML, we're going to make a web page, internet, this is what you need to be doing. Now, when you're in my classroom, you'll see on my wall written really big is, if you open it, you must close it. So it's like a door. If you open it, you got to close it behind you. So if I open up an HTML tag, I have to close it. And it looks the exact same, but it has that slash on it. That slash means you're done. It means stop. It's a big red stop sign. So this is an opening HTML tag. and this is a closing HTML tag. So I always like to type those first so they're really, because they're kind of easy to forget. So by having them there, the rest of our website will be built in between these two tags. Now when you're hitting your return key on your keyboard, or your enter key, whatever you want to call it, you can hit that as much as you want. It will not read that in your code. Now if you hit the space bar, that does matter. It will put spaces and stuff, but this enter key doesn't matter. So I like to space my stuff out just like how I'm going to see it when we preview this in the internet. So if you can space your code, your tags out like I do, they're going to be tremendously easier to read and to find mistakes in, and then to know where you're at when you're back in your code wanting to add things or fix things. So since this is always the first and the last tag we add, I like to consider them like hamburger buns. Every hamburger has them, regardless if it's a bacon hamburger with blue cheese or some sort of veggie tofu burger. They're still hamburgers, but they have different things in the middle. So our websites are always going to have different things down here in the middle, but we're always going to have buns or HTML tags surrounding them, holding them together. There's also two key areas to your websites. The first one is the head. And a head tag is simply the word head surrounded by our brackets, our alligator mouths. Now remember, if you open it, you must close it. So there's my closing head tag. The head is like the brain of your website. And basically everything that we're going to code later on in our head isn't things that you're going to see happening on your actual web page that's pretty and interactive. Your head is how search engines can find you and how you can give your website a name and stuff like that. Stuff you don't actually see happening, just like your brain's doing stuff behind the scenes for you right now. So the head, opening head tag, closing head tag, this first section is the brain of your website, and it's always sitting on top, just like your head's sitting on top of your body. The other area is the body. So just like you have a body and a head, so does this website. The body is where a majority of our coding is going to happen. The body is going to contain any text, any links that we click on that take us different places, videos, pictures, the different colors you see. If we embedded a game somehow that we got from somewhere, some silly gif of a dancing cat, that is going to be in our body. The body is the part that you decorate, just like you decorate yourself with clothes and jewelry, and you paint your nails, you do your hair. That's what our body is. It compares to those two things. So buns, open and close, HTML. The first section of our website is a head. It's always on top, and the body is always below the head. Please put these little returns in between everything, because later on as we start to code more and more and more, these spaces are going to be really, really handy. So right now, if we looked at this in the internet, we wouldn't see anything happen. So let's actually code something that then we can see work. So then we have some results, and it's going to be really exciting. So we're going to do our first code up here in our head. So I'm going to give myself some space here. And we're going to type a title tag. Now a title tag is just the word title. It's pretty easy. And if we open it, we must close it. So I'm going to close it with the word title again. But as is with our other tags we've done, it has that slash, and that slash means stop. And when we start to actually want words to appear on our website, we're just going to type them freely. We don't want these little alligator mouths or these brackets to be around them. So what we're going to do is we're going to give our website a name, and it's going to happen between this opening and this closing title tag. So I like to say it happens between the alligator butts right here, or it also looks like a squinty-eyed emoticon. So look for that spot right there. So our title, guys, is just like when we're in, and I don't have internet here, so I guess I can't pull that up. But when you're in the internet, how it says your website's name right up here at the top where my mouse is at, that's where the title appears. So let's type our website's title. Trident Undersea Resort. Now you notice that again when we type this, it did not have any alligator mouths around it. It didn't have any brackets. Whenever you want text to appear, you just type it. The code or the tags around it are what are in control. Now if I moved this title tag right here, so it was before the word resort, it would end our title after undersea, and the word resort wouldn't even appear where we needed it to. So let's do a little file and save. And that's going to save our code. Let's go back here. Let's see if I need to plug my internet in. Let's hope it works. Hey, great, it works even though I don't have internet. That's fabulous. Okay, so right here in my tab, since I'm in Internet Explorer, there is your title. So make sure you have that. Check it out. Now if you notice, all I did was just double click on our home page, our home file over here in our folder. I still have our notepad open down here at the bottom. So I'm going to be constantly flipping between our internet page and our notepad page with our code in it. So by putting a title tag before and after Undersea Resort, check it out. There is your title. If you're ever bored, go online and Google the word untitled, and you will find thousands upon thousands of pages where some poor company paid a web designer buku bucks to make them a website, and they forgot the most basic thing, and that was giving their website a title. I like to consider the title tag kind of like a birth certificate, and it gives our website a name. Now let's add a little more to this. I always like to label my home page that it's home, or my activities page that's the activities page, so my users kind of know where they're at. So I'm going to do a little space dash space, and I'm going to type the word activities. Oops, sorry, not activities, home. There we go. I'll do a little save and refresh my page, and there it is. I can kind of see part of it because my tab ends, but if I hover over it, then I can see the whole thing. It says home. So I know it worked. If yours doesn't look like this, if you're seeing any brackets or numbers or slashes, that's because something's wrong over here. So pause the video, look at my code, look at your own code, and try to figure out where you messed up. Excuse me. All right, let's add something to our body, and that will be our first little attempt at our website for this video. So now I'm down here in the body. Now anything I type in here is going to appear in this big wide area of our web page. So this is the fun part. This is the decorating part. So what I would like for you to do is type our website's name again. Trident Undersea Resort. Now notice when I type this that there is no codes around it. There's no tags. There's nothing hugging it, surrounding it, affecting it, other than these body tags up here. So when I save it, and come back to the internet and refresh it, there it is. So there is your first experience at doing a little bit of HTML coding. We did a title tag together, and the title tag was the birth certificate of our website. It gave it a name, and the title always lives inside of our head, and our head is the brain of our website. The body, though, is the fun part that we get to decorate, just like you decorate yourself with different clothes, with whatever style you want to be in. And we just type the word "Try to Undersea Resort," and it's just sitting there. Nothing fancy's happening to it. It doesn't have any cool fonts on it. It's not big and bold. It's just sitting there. And last but not least, we started off with our opening and closing HTML tags, and I compared those to like buns on a hamburger. So regardless of what is the meat and condiments of your hamburger, it always has a bun. So I am going to end this video here, and we'll come back later on and we will mess with the body. We will be extending down our homepage and adding some more cool stuff. We'll make things bigger and bolder. We'll learn some link tags. We'll learn all kinds of things that we can do to make our website look more professional. So save, and I'll see you in the next video.